What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. This is my official prediction for Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders, taking place in Arlington, Texas, in the AT&T Stadium. Pretty good venue. I'm just going to say right off the bat, okay, I believe Canelo is going to win this fight. He's the heavy favorite, rightfully so. But, you know, I think in the early rounds of this fight, I think Saunders can frustrate Canelo to a degree. You know, we all know that he employs a lot of movement. He's got a pretty good jab. He's a southpaw. He's got some quickness. And his power is just okay. It's just okay. Now, what I will say, I don't want to bounce all over the place here, but what I will say, too, is that if Saunders really actually plans on engaging in a firefight with Canelo, going toe-to-toe with Canelo, because he's claiming that he's not going to be running around the ring, even though he just demanded a larger ring size. Now, that could be a ploy. That could sort of be a, him playing psychological mind games, psychological warfare with Canelo. But it also could have been legit, like a legitimate concern. We really don't know yet. It's going to be interesting to see how Saunders approaches the fight, what he brings to the fight. I believe that he's going to run around the ring as much as humanly possible, right? Employ as much movement as possible to keep Canelo off balance, keep a consistent jab going, a 1-2 straight left hand movement. He is a little awkward. His punches are a little sloppy. He is kind of a tricky guy to fight overall. But Canelo has pretty much seen it all at this point in his career. Saunders hasn't shown, elite level power at the highest level. He hasn't knocked out an elite level fighter. Canelo has. So, that's also something to look at. And I just think the body work of Canelo by the mid-rounds is really going to start to accumulate and start to bother Billy Joe Saunders to the point where Saunders is really going to start slowing down. I think Canelo now, the Canelo that we have now in 2021 is a hell of a lot better at cutting the ring off than he was, say, 5 or 6 years ago, when he was fighting Austin Trout, when he was fighting Lara. I think he's gotten a lot better at cutting the ring off and just sharpened up all of his skills. His defense has gotten that much better. He's punching. It seems like he's almost punching a little harder. Everything is just more sharp and crisp, and Canelo is at his absolute peak. He's in his prime. And I just think at this point in time, he's got so much momentum. And I just think he's overall the better fighter than Saunders. I don't really think Saunders brings much to the table other than some movement and some quickness and, a bit of an awkward style overall that, really gives anyone issues, at least early on in a fight. But I think Canelo also has the higher IQ. And I just think over the course of the, as the rounds progress, especially going into the late rounds, I think that body work of Canelo is really going to accumulate, really start to bother Saunders. And I would say by maybe round 9 or 10, I think he's gonna seal the deal and stop Billy Joe Saunders. Probably with a body shot. Maybe he digs to the body so much to slow Saunders down early that he does one of those pump fake body shots where you think he's going down low and then he actually follows it up with a shot upstairs. So we'll see what happens. But I got Canelo by stoppage in round 9 or 10. I think early on it's going to be a bit competitive, a little close, only because Saunders is going to be running all over the place. And, his feet are, if we're going to be completely honest here, his feet are a little bit quicker than Canelo's. And I think that is going to show early. And it might frustrate Canelo. I shouldn't even say it's going to frustrate Canelo. It just might make it, Saunders might be able to make it a little difficult for Canelo to hit him early. That's about it. So that is my prediction. Canelo by stoppage in rounds 9 or 10. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you tuning in. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, and until the next one.